bahasham Barakatah YAHAWASHI, Barakatah YAHAWAH, Barakatah YAHAWAH, Barakatah YAHAWASHI.
Shalawam,
Shalawam, Shalawam.
It's the brother Amawad.
Barakayah.
Coming back at y'all with another lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to the hopeful elect.
Shalawam.
So, as you can see from the title, we're going to go into how the last page of the Bible actually goes right back to the first. And, the Spirit had this come out in a lesson. Brothers were breaking down Revelation, and, lately, brothers have been going into how the scriptures themselves are a marvel. All right, the way that the scriptures are put together, there's no way that one man could have just sat down and come up with this. You got hundreds of thousands of cross references. The prophets represent the prophets. All right, the epistles quoting the prophets. All right, this is a book that is inspired from on high, and the wisdom comes from YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. All right, the Father sent down His Son to die for our sins. He was resurrected, and then He returned to the right hand of the Father. And according to Revelation, the 5th chapter, He unsealed the prophecies. So we understand that. One of the major things we understand is that the end of this movie comes with a sequel, which is Yasharallah, the 12 tribes of Israel ruling. So we can start with that Revelation 22.
Yep, this the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last.
Right, YAHAWASHI is the beginning and end. He's the Alpha and Omega. All right, we read Colossians, all of creation subsides with Him. He created the times, all right, according to what Hebrews 1 and 2, He created the worlds, the eons. And, when you look at the eon, the age that we're in right now, it's going to end with Babylon being destroyed. It's going to end with all of our enemies, being humbled by the Most High. And then very immediately after that is going to go into the eon of Israel, the world without end. So this lesson, we're just going to show you that the last page of the Bible, which is Revelation, the 22nd chapter, it goes right back to Genesis. All right, everything that we've gone through for the past, the few thousand years that we've been here on earth, the conclusion starts with a new beginning. So we can start with the top. Unless you got something.
Yeah. No, we just wanted to add that basically Revelation 21 and 22 is the reestablishing of the Garden of Eden. And that paradise, again, like you said, that's about to basically come down, that John saw coming down out of the heaven, which is, symbolic for the condition that we're going to basically be able to enjoy. And this is the actual setting up of it. The kingdom of heaven being set on earth, all right, with the glory that comes with it, which is peace. Yep. This Revelation 22 and verse 1. It says, and He showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of our power and of the Lamb, the Mashiach YAHAWASHI.
Like the brother just said, Revelation 21, it shows you New Jerusalem, which is the 12 tribes of Israel in our perfected state, coming down out of the chariots and establishing heaven on earth. And the first thing that John the Revelator saw, he said, a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal. Now, what do those waters represent? All right, there's physical water that's literal, all right, which provides us life, it sustains us, it hydrates us, all right, and then you have the living waters, which is this word, it's the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Now, when you look at Genesis 1, I'm gonna read this real quick. This is Genesis 1 and 1. It says, in the beginning, the powers, which that word is God, all right, that word God there is Halalyam, the same word God in Psalms, the 82nd chapter in the 6th verse, all right, the Israelite man, we're the Halalyam, all right, we're in the lowest state right now, but it says, in the beginning, the Halalyam created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the waters. All right, so the first thing the Lord made physically was the waters, and everything else was void. Now, in the spirit, our spirits were created first, all right, starting with YAHAWASHI Mashiach. He was the first thing created. He was actually the only thing that the Most High created, and He used YAHAWASHI to create everything else. But physically, in the physical, the first thing you see is waters, all right? You see a void, which is a lack of structure, a lack of order. and it's being formed by the Halalyam. And that's exactly what's going to happen. When you read Revelation 22, there's a void. All right, the earth is going to be completely covered with nuclear radiation. All right, it's going to be full of dead bodies. All right, it's going to be inhabitable. And, we're going to be grounding up slaves from the parts of the earth that are habitable. We're going to be bringing them back to Jerusalem. We're going to take that void the same way that the gods, the powers turn the void into everything that you see. The same thing is going to happen in the new earth. It's going to be a refreshed earth. The same men that created earth are going to refresh the earth. But it says, Bible shop, you can give me 2 Peter real quick, 3 and 5. The Lord actually used his men to create the elements, to bring hydrogen and oxygen together, all right, carbon, potassium, all of these different elements. The Lord is going to use those same men to fix the earth. Because World War III is going to completely, it's going to look like something out of one of those post-apocalyptic movies. The sky is going to be all black. All right, there's going to be nothing here but scorpions and vipers and various creatures. And the Lord is going to use those men, New Jerusalem, to refresh the earth. That word new in the Greek is kainos, which means refreshed.
This 2 Peter 3 and 5, it says, for this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of our power the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
Standing out of the water and in the water. All right, the outer atmosphere, which Esau calls outer space, that's actually a Shemayim. All right, that's a set of waters. And the earth that we live in now, we're in water. We're in water right now. We're breathing, low levels of water, which here in New Orleans, we have a high level of humidity. So we're breathing in more water than the average person. But, we're surrounded by waters. When you look at the horizon, you're looking at one set of waters over another set of waters. It's called a horizon. It speaks about that let me get that in Job real quick. It's Job 26 and 10. He hath compassed the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. And this in the NLT, it says, he created the horizon when he separated the waters. He set the boundary between day and night. So you have waters that are separated by other waters. And that's what happened in creation. That's what happened on the first day. So how much more when this place is destroyed, those same men are going to refresh the waters. All right, again, all of that radiation, we're actually going to have spiritual power. We're going to fix our creation, man. And that's really, when you look at it, the only men that are sighing and crying for the abominations that are done to creation, it's only right that we're sighing and crying because it's our creation. We helped build this place with YAHAWASHI. That's why we're the only people that are vexed by chemtrails. We're the only people that are vexed by these heathen ruling over paradise, because it's created for us and by us.
If I can add also, right, that those waters that the brother is speaking about, and you can also kind of back it up in Ezekiel 47, what I'm talking about. You probably could start from the top, probably
get that.
Spot around, yeah. Those, but just to mention, that pure river of life, it's the influence of both of the waters from like the brother said, those physical waters. And water is a representation of production of life. All right, it produces life, and everything lives by it. There's nothing living that don't, it's not it don't embodies water.
Right.
All right, then it would be a dead thing. Yeah. All right, even our bodies, our physical bodies, all the animals, the trees, everything is tapped into that oxygen, which is an element that was created from the beginning to actually create the heavens and earth, man. And if we're a part of it, then that is a major part of our bodies. You always go into our brains. It's what the percentage of water?
It's like 90%.
It's like 90%, which that's where our spirit dwells. So inside of that water is the spirit, which is the pure influence of life, which I'll get that word influence, all right? Which everything, that's the origin, is the origin of basically everything that actually has breath in it. And everything is alive has breath. All right, so as we are building, like you say, it's the ones who, the people, the Israelites, all right, that was given this pure influence, starting with those who created heaven and earth, as it speak about in First Esdras, all right, they had that from the beginning, man. All right, and what you about to see is it established through righteousness now, as those streams running down, all right, those rivers of righteousness, which we'll deal with. But that water standing in the water and out of the water as well it's all embodied with the influence. You got it.
And Esau, with these telescopes that he has, these super powerful telescopes that can see other planets, you know, one of the first things he'll notice is that, okay, this planet over here, it has a river. So as soon as you find water, what does that mean? There's life on this planet.
Life.
Right? Because the water represents life. Matter of fact, to back you, this is Psalms chapter 46, verse 4. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of the Most High, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. Yahawah is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. The Most High shall help her, and that right early.
And that's the only way we can actually have a continuance of a city that it speak about in Hebrews. If YAHAWASHI not in the city, or if the city is not habit with Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI, which represents the law, statutes, and commandments, then there's no continuing city. That's why this city, as you see, all right, is not upheld by the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI. Is ran, and you know, it's confounded upon what? Lies, deceit, treachery, all right, those things that produce debt. Okay, so like the brother said, in order to, and here we have no continuing city, okay, but here is where the continuing city gonna be established at. Not here, all right, but you know, Jerusalem being our hometown, but this will be the end of this place, all right, marks the beginning of the continuing city. All right, that's going, you know, according to Daniel, that's going to be established forever.
You know, it shall not be left to other people.
Yep.
But this is the back what you just said. This Psalms 127:1. It says, except Yahawah build the house, they labor in vain that build it. So anything built,
is a house.
Anything built without Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI is inevitably going to be destroyed. That's why all our hopes and vains, you know, the scriptures speak about the vain imaginations of the heathen. Anything that you're trying to build that isn't centered around the Most High is going to be destroyed. Now, this kingdom that we're reading is built by Yahawah through his only begotten son, YAHAWASHI, and the 144,000. The same men spoken of in Genesis, the 1st chapter, are the same men in Revelation, the 22nd chapter. All right, the Bible ends where it begins. It ends with the 144,000 and YAHAWASHI rebuilding the earth, and then you go back to Genesis, those same men built the earth. All right, it runs into itself. You know, you bring out all the time, the Lord likened his judgment unto a rain. All right, and that includes, really, it starts with the judgment of Adam. All right, because Adam was the first one to give, he was given instructions and commandments. He was the first one to go off, and so that's why the world is in the condition that it's in right now. So him coming back, redeeming himself as YAHAWASHI, which that's something else these people don't even understand. They don't know that Adam came back and redeemed himself. And through, matter of fact, let me get that real quick.
And with that's synonymous with the judges being restored from the beginning. Because he's the ultimate judge, right? It always going to you like Isaiah 32:1. All right, that by me king shall reign and judgment shall be established. I paraphrase it. But another one is the Isaiah 1:20. Princes.
Princes shall rule in judgment.
Yep. So, and he was what? He was the Prince of Peace, which ushered in the judgment ultimately for us to be established and reign upon the earth, man. All right, you got it, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that Romans a little later.
Yeah.
But
I got one for you real quick.
You got it?
This Psalms 36:89. Can you grab that? What I just mentioned, the Isaiah. You got it?
I got the Psalms 36 and 8.
Hold that. I'm gonna grab the Isaiah.
No, I got you.
Give me
the one at 29.
One in
the judges from the
beginning. Yeah, from the first. Should be Isaiah 1:26 and 27. Yeah. And YAHAWASHI is the what? He's the
judge.
He's the judge. He's the ultimate judge, man. So he, you know, just like he set it's basically what you're saying is a carbon copy of when Solomon reigned in peace for the 40 years. He's the ultimate judge that actually gonna bring peace for eternity, man. Right? The Malak Tazadak, which is right, the king of righteousness. Well, righteousness Shalawam. Right? Well, righteousness there's everlasting life. You got it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 26. And I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward, thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city.
You got it.
It says, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment. So that's what's going on. In Revelation, the 22nd chapter, we're reading about the judges being restored as at the first. All right, because we weren't created to go off. All right, us going off was part of prophecy so that we could learn good and evil, but we were actually created to be the righteous judges of the earth. So that's naturally what's going to happen. All right, everything's going back to the way that it was intended from the beginning. All All right, when you go into that word Halalyam, one of the definitions for Halalyam is a judge. All right, we're powers, we're gods, and we're judges.
Yeah.
So the Lord restoring his judges as at the first is those Halalyam from Genesis 1:1 being those same men that you're reading in Genesis 22. I mean, it's like in Revelation 22. All right, the end of the Bible is going right back into the first page, which there's no other book like this. There's no the Quran, all of these so-called spiritual books. None of them can compare to the scriptures. This is a story that ends the same way it began, but it includes all of the history of the earth, and includes, you know, the transgressions and the redemption of the 12 tribes of Israel. You people are so-called Negro, Native Indian descent. You have the greatest story ever told. But, you know.
Yeah, real quick
one.
This 1 Corinthians 15 and 20 and 45, Salakia. It says, and so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. And like the brother had mentioned, all right, that first Adam, which obviously that's the Adam that was in, you know, his perfection. He had new righteousness, but he needed the air off, all right, to learn how to be an actual judge or what of the earth, to learn evil, to be in the form of a God, right, changed into that righteous man, all right, because a righteous man, the fulfillment of a righteous man is all righteous judgment. But in order to judge, we needed to learn evil, because we was all right. All right, that's why when we fell from that first estate, we fell from that right estate, being righteous. All right, but unless we had experienced evil and the Lord saw it, you know, that's noteworthy that the Lord saw it fit that his righteous men should err off and fall away. All right, unto restoration. Yeah. Okay, to learn evil, to be in those positions of justice, because we was about to rule forever. So there had to be, right, you know, that curve or this time of all these reincarnations from the first man all the way to the last in order for us to get it right. You know, and that has to be, you know, we have to commend the Lord for allowing us to even be able to endure that, man. Yeah. You know, just through the Spirit, to be built back up to at the first, but even greater, with the laws in our inward part, with us having dominion over evil.
And an understanding of evil while having dominion over it. That's why the scriptures say our brothers, the angels, they marvel. They look into these things that we're doing, because it's like, wait a minute, they're in flesh, they're in disobedient flesh, and they still fighting. Like, the angels don't understand that, because they're programmed to only obey. All right, we go off. So in the garden, we didn't have a knowledge of evil. All right, all we knew was righteousness, and in the kingdom, all we're going to be is righteous, but we're going to understand evil. We're going to understand what it's like to be in the flesh. We're going to be able to judge the heathen correctly. All right, you know, we're going to know what they're going through, and that's going to make us perfect judges, man. And the Lord had to bring us low to teach us these lessons and make us perfect.
Yeah, in order for us to, like the brother said, in order for us to fulfill the Spirit, and this next verse is going to say it, howbeit that was not first, which is spiritual, and which we know the Spirit is first. So what the hell Paul talking about right here? All right, it says, but that which is natural, because unless we did that in the flesh, right, and overcame, okay, we wouldn't have never been able to actually be risen with that spiritual man, to where as if, you know, the natural, we had fully overcame the flesh. All right, it says, and afterwards that which is spiritual. So now as we're experiencing this natural, we here now, okay, we're transitioning into that spiritual, but in order to get the Spirit, you have to see those things in the natural, man. Yeah. Right? You have to endure that, go through it, overcome it, fall by it, okay, and then that which is spiritual. And that's why a lot of people, they like, hey, I just want to move in the Spirit, but how can you unless you organize your flesh, man? Yeah. There's no way to get to the Spirit unless the fleshly things which holds the Spirit down, all right, or what, that's adverse to the Spirit, unless that's conquered, you can never be fully grown spiritually, man. You got it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point. A lot of people think being spiritual is just sitting in the house, sitting in a lotus position, meditating and humming and burning candles and incense. Yeah. You know, you got the cedar wood, the Palo Santo, you just burning, that's all you're doing is burning incense all day and reading the Bible. No, you have to actually interact with the world. Wisdom engages things. All right, the Lord gives us wisdom so that we can move in this world. All right, being spiritual means knowing how to conquer the flesh. If there's no flesh to conquer, then You just, what are we talking about? All right, the Lord, again, he gave us good and evil, and he gave us the waters to be able to maneuver. Water goes everywhere, and it knows it. Water is something that, you know, it could be gas, it could be ice, you know, cold, hot, you know, it's still water. It could destroy, it could clean, and that's what wisdom does. It could do all of these things, but you have to have a understanding of what's going on, and you have to be planted by those rivers, which we're gonna get. You have the Psalms 36. You want me to get it?
Oh, you can hold it. This I wanted to get the Ecclesiastes to back up what you said about how water goes everywhere, but it also has this water of the pure influence, which the brother read, that pure river of life. All right, it actually has a direction to it. Okay, Ecclesiastes get 11:1, and on those waters is the bread of life. All right, you know, it makes an analogy to it. Go ahead.
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 1. It says, "Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days."
Now, if you actually put bread on the water, a loaf of bread, how can you find that bread on the water? After many days, after the days of captivity. All right, this is speaking about, you know, that truth coming back in, or wisdom, returning back to those that practice in her. All right, and that's what that pure river of life represents. Those waters, or that influence, actually having a direction, right, returning it to us, having those rivers of living water within us, and keeping that fountain of life in us. That's gonna go into that song right there. All right, and that bread, all right, is who? YAHAWASHI, man. Because that was the only way we would have been able to actually sell these waters, all right, you know, actually have this wisdom return unto us. Let YAHAWASHI sup with us, because didn't he mention he's the bread of that manna from heaven? All right, and that heaven, in that heaven is that pure river of life, man. All right, he's the water in the bread. You got it, bro.
This Psalms 36:8, it says, "They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasures. For with thee is the fountain of life, in thy light shall we see light."
You got it.
Yeah. So that water and the light, again, going back to Genesis, the first chapter. All right. The first thing the Lord made, he made the light before he created the sun. A lot of people, you know, scoffers and atheists still say, well, the light comes from the sun. How could the light come before the sun? You have no understanding. All right. The light actually comes before the sun was created. All right. Because the light goes into the wisdom and knowledge. All right. The light goes into the elements. All right. They radiate. You don't need a sun to have light. All right. But these heathen, they don't understand spiritual things. So with them, it's all about what can we measure? What can we put in the lab? What can we get a tape measure? What can we put on a scale and get the exact measurement? They don't understand the spirit, man. No. But we do, because YAHAWASHI is that morning star.
That morning star, yeah, brother.
Con.
The brother got one set up for that too.
Con.
Absolutely.
We can go to verse 2.
Con. This Revelation 22:1. It says, "In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of her tree were for the healing of the nations."
Now, this is Revelation 22:2. It mentions the tree of life. Now, where else in the Bible do we read about the tree of life being established? In Genesis. All right, so the last page of the Bible is going right back to the first. All right, this is Genesis 2:7. It says, "And Yahweh, the Lord power, formed man from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and he became a living soul." Now, when you go into this breath of life, obviously, you know, there were men before Adam that were technically alive, but they weren't spiritually alive. They didn't have the breath of life. That's when, you know, the Most High actually created the first priest, the first judge, the first ruler of the earth, which is Adam. He gave him instructions, and Adam named everything. He named all the animals. All right, and that's going to happen again in the kingdom. We're going to reorder everything, and Adam, which is YAHAWASHI, he's going to be the true judge of the earth all over again, because that's what he was set up to be from the beginning. But it says there was a tree of life which bare 12 manners of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. This goes into, you know, of course, the 12 tribes of Israel. I'll get this real quick. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 57. It says, "He searches the deep and the treasures thereof. He hath measured the sea, and what it containeth. He hath shut the sea in the midst of the waters. There it goes again. And with his word he hath hanged the earth upon the waters. He spreaded out the heavens like a vault. Upon the waters he hath bounded it. In the desert hath he made springs of water, and pools upon the tops of the mountains, that the floods might pour down from the high rocks to water the earth. He made man and put his heart in the midst of the body, and gave him breath and life and understanding. Now notice it speaks about water. Yo, it speaks about waters at the top of a mountain flowing down. All right, now what do mountains represent in the scriptures? Governments. All right, so there's going to be a government. All right, then the waters rain down. All right, then immediately after that, it speaks about him creating man and put his heart in the midst of the body, and gave him breath, life, and understanding. So again, the same thing that we read about in Genesis, all right, is happening here in Revelation 22. There's going to be a government, a mountain at the top, and it's going to rain down, and it's going to be for the healing of the nations. That nation starts with the 12 tribes of Israel, first and foremost, the nation that matters. But even the other 17 nations, which outside of Esau, he's going to be exterminated. But the other nations are going to be healed through that water. All right, you have a mountain at the top, water's going to rain down, and the law, statutes, and commandments are going to come forth out of Zion. New Jerusalem is going to govern the earth, and the nations are going to be healed. There's not going to be sluts and whores in other nations. There's not going to be adultery in other nations. We're not going to have chemtrails defiling other nations. We're not going to have wicked philosophies poisoning other nations. All the nations are going to have to follow the culture of Israel, which is the Holy Scriptures. And, you know, it tells you in Proverbs 29:2 that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
That's right.
So all of our people, you know, we're going to be healed, and then the nations are going to be healed through that water raining down.
And another good point, like the brother said, the ad, really through us being right, all right, going through that cycle of life where we ain't, you know, back to where Yahweh say that, you know, all shall be righteous, all right, that's concerning the children of Israel. So it's really no need to heal ourselves, right? YAHAWASHI went through it for that propitiation for sin, all right, was part of the healing process. Us going through the you know, the righteousness right now of learning the ways of righteousness. So once it's established, we'll just have, like you say, we'll need to heal the nations, all right, in a way not to basically, you know, that Israel will be healed, like the brother said, but so they can serve us, man.
Yeah.
You know, for the purpose of serving us.
Yeah, that's what they were created to do.
That's what they was created to do, and we need them to do that.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Yeah, we're not going to do manual labor in the kingdom. My son works.
My son works.
Yeah, we're going to give orders, and they're going to be carried out righteously and expeditiously, or else. All right, you can't have heathen in your house and the heathen are wicked.
For real.
You can't have heathen that are servants of your children, but the heathen are wicked. No, they have to be righteous too.
Yep.
All right, and it's in our law that we can have the heathen as property, and so can our children. But this is I want to get this word. While I'm in Genesis 2, it says, and Yahweh, this is verse 8, it says, and Yahweh, the Most High, planted a garden in Eden, eastward, and there he put man whom he had formed. And we go into this word Eden, it's H5731, Eden, is pleasure, all right? When you go into the root word, it says luxury, dainty, delight, finery, pleasure. That's what the Garden of Eden, it's a garden of pleasures evermore, all right? The earth in and of itself was created to be a paradise. Now through, you know, as we're going to get, there's a curse on the earth right now, so the earth isn't yielding its fruit properly, all right? The air is defiled, the food is defiled, everything about this world is defiled, but the Lord is going to redo that. He's going to actually use the men that he used in Genesis 1 to refresh the earth. But this is Revelation 2 and 7 real quick. Okay. Just want to get this real quick because it goes into that same word, paradise. Revelation 2 and 7. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh, the elect, will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of the Most High. So again, you see a tree of life in the midst of paradise. That's what we saw in Genesis, and that's what we're reading about in Revelation. The last book of the Bible is going right back to the first. So this Greek word paradise is paradisos, which is a garden, a pleasure ground. So again, Eden means paradise. It means pleasures, delights. The same word in the Greek is a pleasure ground. That's the paradise that's going to be created.
Yes.
All right, the same paradise, but it's refreshed. It's a kainos paradise. All right, but you got it.
Yeah, our world, like the brother said, when Adam didn't want a need for anything. Right, he was in the graces of the Lord. You know, so for him to, then that's why when Adam did get the curses upon him, he lost he fell into that place to where now he need things, right? But prior to that, he didn't need it, and that's symbolic for, you know, our whole story. All right, we once, you know, we was righteous. Those angels that fell from that first estate, all right, and then they began what? We lost, all right, that safety and that security where they're in his medicines, like it says with that second address. All right, it says, it speak about the safety and the security that the kingdom the fruits of the kingdom. Salakia. This Judges 18:10. It says, when ye go, ye shall come into a people secure, into a large land. For our power had given it into your hands, a place where there is no want of anything that is in the earth. I'll read it again, but like you said, that Eden was the place where there was no want of anything in the earth. All right, he give us the rivers to fill it, as we'll get into. All right, you know, the trees of good and life to eat of fruit of the field. All right, it mentioned all those things where there was straight security. And it says, Judges 18:10, when ye go, ye shall come into a people secure, and to a large land, for our power had given it into your hands, a place where there is no want of anything that is in the earth. You got it?
A place where there is no want of anything. That's the exact opposite of this place, man.
For real.
All right, here we're constantly wanting, we're constantly lacking, we're constantly surrounded by these heathen, and paradise, which is open unto us, which we're going to get that real quick. We're not going to want for anything, man.
Yep.
All right, we're going to have everything. We're going to have, first and foremost, a connection with our power back. We're not going to be detached from the Lord. All right, YAHAWASHI is going to reign. We're not going to have a king that's in captivity. We're not going to have a king that's mocked, that's scorned. All right, everything's going to be right side up in the kingdom. All right.
I got that paradise for you.
You got the second Esdras 8?
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
This second Esdras 8:52, it says, for unto you is paradise opened. The tree of life is planted.
The what?
The tree of life is planted. Go that tree again.
Okay.
The time to come is prepared. Plentiness is made ready. A city is builded. There go that city again. And rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
It says the tree of life is planted. Plentiness is made ready. All right, we're going to have everything in abundance. All right, Jake's not going to want for anything. We're going to have an abundance of water, living water, clean water. All right, clean women. The elements are going to be in order. All right, we're going to be eating out of gold again, gold plates, gold cups. Everything's going to be exact gold streets.
Yes.
All right, our streets are going to be paved with gold. Everything's going to flow perfectly. The current, all right, the currency, or the energy in the kingdom is going to be perfected. The earth is going to be paradise again. It's going to be perfect, the way it's supposed to be, the way it was intended from the beginning.
When you read that Revelation 2:7, and you get that word paradise, and it also, I think in a strong definition, it says a place of future happiness. Right? And Isaiah speak about where our children will, dwell with the animals. All right? Because really a place of happiness is synonymous with peace. Right? Peace is what is ultimately what happiness means. All right? And again, like you said, it's security. All right? There's no want of anything. Okay? But all that, the King of Peace has to set the stage and set the tone for that, which he have already passed over from death unto life. He was risen 3 days later, which is, a major thing is that resurrection, to believe in that resurrection, because the Lord actually he's resurrecting the earth as we speak. Once the prophets is out speaking, we're speaking life back into the things that was once dead. All right, through these waters, all right, through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, okay, we're breathing the influence into life. Once we're made alive. The thing that goes with us have to be made alive too, and that's the earth, man. We have to, in order to live in the earth, us and the earth have to be on one term, man. All right, we have to be what? In cohesiveness, man.
Yeah.
Togetherness.
Which we're gonna go to that in the third verse. But
yeah.
Before we go forward, let me get this real quick. This Psalms chapter 1 verse 2. It says, "But his delight is in the law of Yahawah, and his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." Yeah, going back to the blessings of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. All right. Right now we're under the curses, verse 15 to 68. But in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be overwhelmed by blessings. The scripture said we're going to be overtaken by the blessings. That means whatever we put our hand to do is going to prosper. There's not going to be a failed Israelite business. We're not going to open a restaurant that's going to close, because no, everything we do is going to prosper forever. Yeah. That's what we have looking forward to, eternal W's, just win after win after win. Why? Because we're planted by water, and we're going to get further into that water. But
and even those being planted within those trees, that tree hugging, right, which is synonymous with healing. All right, it's like we gonna, as a family tree, which YAHAWASHI is the vine, John 15, and one we those fruit, the fruit of that tree, which is the branches, and all the hugging and everything. Oh, absolutely, brother. Go ahead, brother.
It's going into the 12 trees and the 12 manner of fruit. This 2 Esdras 2 and 17. I'm gonna read it in the GNT. It says, "Jerusalem, mother of these people, do not be afraid. I, Yahawah, have chosen you. I will send my servants Isaiah and Jeremiah to help you. At their request, I have consecrated and prepared for you 12 trees heavy with different kinds of fruit, 12 fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 high mountains covered with roses and lilies. I will make your children very happy there. Now, Jerusalem, come to the defense of the widow, take the side of the fatherless, give to the poor, protect orphans, give clothing to those that have none." Talking about the elect, the Israelites. All right. We're fatherless in this society, all right, because we're detached from our father. We're likened unto orphans and widows. All right. This isn't talking about opening a soup kitchen and giving to homeless people. All right. The Most High said, "I have not seen the righteous begging bread." All right. The men of the Lord have apartments, houses. All right. This is talking about the elect that need to be healed by this word. And the 12 tribes of Israel represent 12 trees that are planted by water. All right. And we're going to flourish in the kingdom. Jake flourishing here, man. In the spirit, Jake is doing pretty good. Jake we're not we can't say the word. We're not thinking about deleting ourselves. We're actually looking forward to our Lord and Savior coming back. All right. So even if you're going through it, you catching hell, at the end of the day, we have a hope. Unlike these people, this guy has no hope. That's a spirit. He don't have the water at all. He planted in the desert.
That's dry grounds, man.
The Lord.
He a foundation of dryness. Yeah. If that's even something,
he don't have no hydration.
Pruning, just drying.
The Lord just sent by a dried up heathen.
A bozo.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we're in good spirits, even catching hell. Brothers, back hurt, feet hurt, everything hurt. We still in good spirits. Because we know that our Lord and Savior is on his way back, and we're going to reestablish everything. Everything that you see, even everything that you don't see. The elements, all right, the gases, the spirits. We're going to have control over angels, man. We're going to send left-handed angels on you Edomites. All right, we're going to be in total authority. Yeah,
everything is, what we're experiencing, a total upgrade and a paradigm shift of wealth, happiness, riches, right? And everything that comes along with immortality, the treasures of that, right? But he mentioned in that, I think 18, you mentioned of that milk and honey. All right, that milk is wealth. All right, right? It says, somewhere in Isaiah that the suckling.
We're gonna suck the milk of the kings.
Yeah, we're gonna suck the milk of the kings. And then when you get into that honey, that goes into that sweet honeycomb, which goes into that wisdom. All right, and I think it says in Sirach 11:3 that the bee is little amongst them that fly, but our fruit is of the chief things. I paraphrase that. Can you grab that? Right? And sweetness and goodness, all right, that goes into that wisdom, all right, that wealth and wisdom, right? It says the bee is little this Sirach 11:3, little among such as fly, right? But her fruit is the chief of sweet things, right? And the fruit of these tree, that fruit we gonna receive of those sweet things, of that honey, which is what? The wisdom. All right, Proverbs speaks about it, the honeycomb. All right, that goes into the wisdom. The milk goes into the wealth. All right, it goes into cattle. All right, because we gonna have all the animals, you know, the land. Yeah. All right, that's what's synonymous with riches, man. And wisdom actually add all these things unto you. So once we have got the depths of riches, all right, Romans 11:33, then we'll find out all these things, how the earth, you know, the elements, the way they work, how to manipulate them, how to, you know, use them for our good, for the development of our cities, all right, and our, I don't even say communities, right, because we got a kingdom. We don't say community around here. That's a demon. I think Apostle Gabal did a lesson on that community demon and actually went into it. That was some years ago, a couple years ago, but we are the kingdom. That's why we speak of the kingdom, and it flows from within us, man. All right, this is kingdom speak we talking about, because we can feel it in our spirits, man. And our spirits is already, it can already feel the kingdom, right? And that's why it's like that intangible thing that we can't really explain it, but we can see it happening through signs and tokens, and we also can feel it from the atmosphere, man, which our spirits is connected with. Yes. Right? Go ahead.
Yeah, we're connected with the spirit. The earth has a spirit.
It has a spirit.
And it's connected to us. Yep. We created it. Now, the brother made a good point. Also, it tells you in Ecclesiastes that the king is served by the field. So in order to be a king, you got to own the field.
You got to own the field.
All right? We're going to own the earth again, man. We're going to have dominion. And we're going to be able to fix everything, and then it's going to serve us. It's going to yield forth, which I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Baba Gashaf, you can get me, you got the blue letter on there?
Yeah.
Baba Gashaf, get Ezekiel 47 in the NLT.
Okay.
Because that's going to go into the healing of the nations, that river, all right, because Ezekiel spoke of the kingdom of heaven, all right, Isaiah, Daniel, the prophets all saw the kingdom, and they all phrased it differently because they're different men. They put everything in their own words, but it's all the same record of the same kingdom.
Yep. This Ezekiel, let me put it in NLT. This Ezekiel 47:1, I'm gonna read it in the NLT. It says, in my vision, the man brought me back to the entrance of the temple. There I saw a stream flowing east from beneath the door of the temple and passing to the right of the altar on its south side.
So again, you see a temple and you see water. Everything the Lord builds, like the brother was saying, you know, living things require water. And so the most vibrant, the most lively things are going to be planted by rivers, by oceans. And that's, you know, the temple of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. It's going to have the rivers of living water just flowing through it. You're going to see currency. You're going to see movement. You're going to see action. And it's all going to be done in righteousness.
Yeah, it's going to be done through YAHAWASHI too, because it says in, I think, 21 that there was no temple inside of it except the Lamb and YAHAWASHI. I believe YAHAWASHI. Come. You know, so
we are the temple.
We are the temple. You know, we're gonna be the kingdom of heaven. The thing is that the devils that's ruling the earth right now, they're not one with the earth. Yeah. Right? They're against the earth, man.
Yeah, and the earth is fighting back.
And it's fighting back against them. They got the plague of leprosy on them. All right, and that's how we're able to identify who the earth is not for. But what hasn't been what hasn't risen to the top of those waters is who the earth is actually for. We know who it's not for, right? But now what you're finding out who the earth was actually designed for and who made it and whose sakes was it created for. That's why Edris said, Lord, how long shall we hope on this reward or the flow of our reward for those, you know, for those while they're ruling who the earth's sake wasn't made for, man. I paraphrase that in 2nd Edris. All right? It says,
these heathen who ruled over us, who've been
reputed for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they got control of the earth. It says, verse 2, the man brought me outside the wall through the north gateway and led me around to the eastern entrance. There I could see the water flowing out through the south side of the east gateway.
When you keep reading on down, you know, for the sake of time, probably should I jump to verse 13? Yeah, but this whole chapter goes into the kingdom of heaven and the waters thereof. But it says this in 13.
Let me read 12.
God.
It says, the fruit trees of all kinds will grow along both sides of the rivers. Right? And it's that tree of life that's in the kingdom of heaven. That's going to be plenteous. Paradise going to be open. Now that actual tree of life that Yahweh gave Adam, okay, to not eat of, okay, now it's going to be fully given unto us because there's no more evil to eat of because it's conquered. So now everything is open. That's why I said plentiness. Now we can do as we please and will because we're going to be in the confinements of righteousness. When we did it then, we were stepping outside the boundaries of righteousness, which had to bring us all the way back round to righteousness. You know, we had to lose our way in order to find our way. It says, verse 12, the fruit trees of all kinds will grow along both sides of the river. The leaves of these trees will never turn brown and fall, and there will always be fruit on their branches. It's gonna be it's just gonna be an increase, a continuous flow of increase. That's like water. Water is unstoppable. You don't see the end, the depths. You don't know anything of it. So the Lord likened our kingdom unto the waters. You know, it says there would be a new crop every month. It's not even waiting till the harvest. The harvest gonna be plenteous.
Springing up.
For they are watered by the river flowing from the temple.
The what?
The water flowing from the temple. Who's temple now?
Man, come on, man.
Bro.
So we're gonna have total control over the elements, and we're gonna have the knowledge and wisdom to be able to govern perfectly. And then everything we do, everything we put our hand to is gonna work, and then it's just gonna build more and more. Not even getting to all the children we're gonna have. All right, it tells you in Isaiah, what, 60, that one man should be 1,000, and our children are all gonna be righteous. So imagine a righteous king having hundreds of righteous sons. Everything, thousands,
millions.
It's just gonna, everything righteous is gonna explode. The same way wickedness explodes here, it's gonna be tenfold in righteousness in the kingdom. All right, because here somebody have a stupid idea, it goes viral, then it starts trending. In the kingdom, it's gonna be nothing but righteous trends. It's just gonna catch on.
Yeah, it tell you in Sirach 40:19 that children and the building of a city continues a man's name. Right, and this, you're saying the foundation of the kingdom of heaven being established, and once it's established, our children names gonna continue, because the children names of the wicked, the son and nephew, is getting put out. So there's a balance. The ones that was always set up and famous from the beginning have to continue. Right? It says, so the rivers, it says, by the rivers, for they are watered by the rivers flowing from the temple. The fruit will be for food and the leaves for healing. Verse 13. This is what our sovereign power says, Yahweh. Divide the land in this way for the 12 tribes of Israel. The descendants of Joseph will be given 2 shares of the land.
Right, that goes into Ephraim and Manasseh. So the 12 tribes, again, going back to Revelation 22 and Revelation 21, the kingdom is going to be for the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, each tribe, we're going to have our own gates. All right, it's going to be for us. It's not going to be left to other people. So where do you get the heathen can be saved from reading prophecy? That's not what Ezekiel saw. That's not what Isaiah saw. That's not what John the Revelator saw. There's no prophet that saw a kingdom of heaven with heathen holding hands with Israel. That's not in the scriptures. All right.
I got a quick one.
Okay, you got it.
2nd Ezra 7:53. It says, and that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. But Ezra was speaking of how we fell, all right, and what we fell from, okay? But he was speaking about the first estate wherein security and medicine and the fruit that endure forever, right? Which goes back into that there's no want of no things, going back to Judges 18:10, all right, where there's a place of security, being secure, and our fruit enduring forever, right? Now we literally will reap the fruit of our labors, literally, because right, you know, some people use that as a what you call it when people cliche, Salakia.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? They say it as a cliche, but when those cliches actually come to pass and it's being real time, then you'll understand that it never was a cliche, man. It was always set this way for us. All right, but we had to go, like it says, we had to walk in unpleasant places. And when we stepped outside in that garden, right, to deal with those philosophies, we started to walk in unpleasant places, man.
Yeah.
Right, which took us from the tree of life, man, and gave us over unto what? Death, man.
Yeah, we went from paradise to hell.
To hell.
Just in the lowest state.
Yeah. You want me to read 14?
Yeah, this whole chapter is good. I'm going to get back to the rivers, though.
Come on.
Yeah, you brothers can read Ezekiel 37.
Yeah.
And read it in the KJV and the NLT. It goes into the kingdom. But real quick, this to back you, this dealing with them rivers. This back in Genesis 2. Because, again, all of this is Revelation 22 and 2. Yeah. We haven't even gotten to verse 3 yet. This is all verse 2. Yeah. It's all for this all first verse.
All first.
This all first verse. Y'all get this work.
Get this work. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is Genesis 2 and 9. It says, "And out of the ground made YAHAWAH, the Lord power, to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil." Right, which in the kingdom, we're going to have the knowledge of good and evil, but we're only going to be able to do right.
Yeah.
All right, when we first started, you know, prior to Adam, we had no knowledge of evil. All right, we were just perfect. And then we had to understand evil.
We was naked and not ashamed.
Yeah.
Right? And then in verse chapter 3, it says they was naked and ashamed now. Yeah. So they had done learned.
Yeah.
You know, they had done aired off and learned what it was. And that's why he say, who told you was naked?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's not literal. That's
not literal.
These heathen teach that Adam and Eve had like a leaf. They were walking around just butt ass naked with
hiding themselves.
You people are bugged out, man. Really, this book isn't for you. It was never for you. It was never for you. All right. This was always a book for the priests and kings of the nation of Israel and the prophets who wrote these visions, and they're back today breaking down the scriptures that they wrote. But it says, "And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads."
Yeah.
You can get Sirach 24. You can start at 25.
Okay.
And when you look at when you look at Eden, basically the earth right now is different because, you know, at the time of the flood, you know, you had Pangea, everything shifted. Yeah. So what you see right now in the Middle East is not how it was in the garden, but we have a similitude of what was there. You got it.
Yeah, this, like the brother said, it's a resemblance of things to come. Like it's shaping up to what it used to be, coming from a dead state though. So that's why you can't really see the picture fully, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of hard to actually see that, man. You know, it's hard to see the world fully connected with the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans ruling with everything given to them with the other nations in slavery.
Yeah.
You know how hard that is to see right now?
Yeah.
Right? You got to have a different type of vision. Your vision got to be blessed of the Lord.
Yeah.
We can't even thoroughly see it, but we can feel it, right? You know?
Yeah, we can see glimpses of it. We can see, you know, you can see the heathen are meant to serve. You know, these Moabites, they're little robots. You can see these Edomites, they're clearly going to be destroyed. Bro, if Israel didn't come into power, they would just go extinct.
Yeah.
Their women don't even want to have their babies. they need to be ruled over just to exist.
Yeah. They'll end.
Yeah.
Right? Because Esau birth line is already in reverse.
Yeah.
So they'll end themselves.
Yeah.
Right? But we still, like you said, you got to fulfill prophecy.
Yeah.
That would make the Lord a lie. We know he can do everything but lie.
Okay.
So you're needed, man.
Yeah.
Birth rate in reverse is crazy.
Yeah, you got a high IQ and a negative birth rate. You so smart you can't fuck. That's bugged out, man.
Yeah, that's bugged out, bro.
You're so intelligent you forgot how to reproduce yourselves. But anyway.
Yeah.
We get to talking about Edom. That's a whole nother.
For real. This Sirach 24, you want that?
Okay.
And 25. It says, he filleth all things with his wisdom as Shalakia, as Pison and as Tigris.
Yeah,
Tigris. In the time of the new fruits, he maketh the understanding to abound like the Euphrates, And as Jordan in the time of the harvest.
He maketh the understanding to abound like Euphrates.
Euphrates.
Now, when you go back to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, it goes into these 4 rivers. And the Pison, that's, the Red Sea. And in the Hebrew, it's Payashawan, which means to increase. And then you go into the Gihon, that's the Nile River, all right, which is, so-called the largest river. Now, that word Gihon in the Hebrew is Gaya Chawan, which means bursting forth. So we got increase, we got bursting forth. Let's look at Tigris. The word Tigris in the Hebrew, Chadakwal. Hadekel in the English, which means rapid. All right, and the Euphrates, which is Parath, which is fruitfulness. So you got fruitfulness, rapid, bursting forth, and increase. It says the Most High maketh the understanding to abound like the Euphrates. The righteousness and the wisdom is just going to be bursting forth. That's what John the Revelator saw, and it goes right back to Genesis. The first 3 chapters of Genesis are a prelude to what's going to happen in the kingdom. We're just going to be doing a much better kainos version of creation. Perfect.
We're going to be doing a perfect job of the earth, what is serving the purpose of it, everything that it was there. Now we get, like you say, we get the full enjoyment, right? That full tree of life is open to us. Instead of if you eat of this, is the this or that, we ain't going to have no limitations. There's not going to be any restrictions because we're going to be full of righteousness. When you're full of righteousness, there's no need to tell you, don't do this or don't do that. You're righteous is going to be embedded. So you don't need you're gonna live the things what to do, right? You're going to experience, like it's going to go forth of you. It's going to precede you, right? Versus, I don't need to do that. Nah, we've learned what not to do. It's all we master when we're in our God-like forms and joint heirs of the kingdom. And sometimes you got to look at that. Take your time and look at being a joint heir to YAHAWASHI in the kingdom. That means you're going to be in a God-like state, man. That ain't no light thing to look at. Right? So being in a God form, you're going to be perfect. Okay? Perfection going to be at its beauty.
Since you said that,
I got one for you too about how we going to be perfect. Judges, what you mentioned.
I gotta get this.
Yeah, come on.
You said that. This is 1 John 3, starting at the top. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Yahweh. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it kneweth him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of Yahweh.
Well, when is John talking about that? Because we are the sons. We have came into this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But the fullness of us having, we haven't earthed that fullness yet, right? To where we in our, we done got our new bodies, the kingdom of heaven that fully came down, everything established, the earth back set in its rightful place. So we're the sons of God, all right? Which, ultimately those sons of God goes into what? God-like men, man. Go ahead, brother.
God. It says, beloved, now are we the sons of Yahweh, and it does not yet appear what we shall be.
See, we not there yet. So there's a greater glory, right? We go, what the scriptures speak about going from glory to glory, man. Go ahead.
It says, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
And what that mean? That's literal right there.
We shall be like him.
Yeah, that's literal. All right? That ain't no ad-lib. There ain't no, you need to break that down. Like, nah, being joint heirs, being like him, as he said, you should do greater things than me. So we understand our positioning. We not saying we are him. It said we shall be like. That's the image of. Right? Well, don't the scriptures speak about the sons of God being in the image of the Heavenly Father? So we going to be in his form, man.
Yeah. It says in Psalms we're going to awaken his likeness.
Yeah, we're going to awaken his likeness.
We're going to have the image of Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. When these heathens see an Israelite man, they're going to see Yahweh.
They're going to see Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI, man. Yes, man.
Yes.
Yep.
But, let's go to verse 3. It's more, but for the sake of time, let's get to verse 3.
Okay, let me read this one because you brought this out. You spoke something about judgment, so I had to get it. You know what I'm about to get. Amos 5:24. All right, I'll read it in the NLT because this all goes. It embodies the whole lesson. It says, I'm gonna read it in the KJV and NLT. It says, but let judgment run down as waters. and righteousness as a mighty stream in a NLT. Instead, I want to see a mighty flood of justice, an endless river of righteous living. You got it.
An endless river, all right, like the Euphrates, all right,
Just
like the
abounded.
Nile, just abounded, just rapid,
Yeah.
a rapid increase of righteousness, all right.
Judgment.
Judgment, and we looking forward to that so much, man. And I bring it out all the time. You know, the word doom means judgment. So only a wicked person is afraid of doomsday.
No.
All right, we're looking forward to doomsday because we're looking forward to the judgment. All right, the judgment of the heathen, the judgment of the wicked, and the reward of the righteous.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of the apocalypse. We're not afraid of the revealing. These are things we embrace because we know our big brother's coming back, and we're going to establish a world of righteousness, and it's going to the waters are just going to rain down, man. And you heathen, you're going to benefit from it. All right, we're going to be for the healing of the nations, but you have to be punished first. You have to be chastised. You have to pay for what you've done to the 12 tribes of Israel, and it's only right.
Man, what it says, love casts out all fear. So at this point, we fulfilling the law. So we know what love is according to the Lord. So it's casting out the fear of what's to come. The Lord have opened the heavens up, opened our wisdom and understanding that we can know the scriptures to understand what's coming. And it's all beneficial for us, regardless of what we're going to have to walk and go through. Right? The entrance into the kingdom is a small, now fire and water on the other side, but we understand that's the only way into the kingdom. So we perfectly fine with that. Right? Back in 27, Sirach 24, what, 27?
That wasn't on that.
All right, Con. No, they got one more.
Oh, they got one more?
It says, he make a doctrine of knowledge appear as the light and as Gion in a time of vintage.
Oh, Con.
And Gion overfills the vintage. I looked this up one time. You know, I'll be into the rivers. And Gion in a time of vintage is like a overfilling. Like more than abundance, more than we can have and desire. Like, right? It goes into an overfilling of that the treasures of heaven abounding and, you know, bursting forth, and everything that's coming towards us, we're gonna have abundance to where we gonna want to happen. Like, I can't even take this in. It's feel like you're gonna have a full inheritance of everything. You know?
That goes back to the blessings. It says we're gonna be overtaken with blessings. Let me see if I can find that real quick in Deuteronomy 28.
Oh yeah. They got showers of blessings. I gotta get that. This is in Isaiah. Let me see. I think it's in Isaiah. Maybe 66 and 11. I think.
Kind of Deuteronomy 28 and 2. It says, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna be overtaken with blessings. All right, when we keep the commandments, which in the new covenant, we're gonna have those new bodies. We're gonna be completely perfect, which means what? We're gonna be overtaken with blessings. They're gonna burst forth like the Nile, like the brother was saying. The blessings are gonna burst forth. You're gonna have bursting blessings, man.
Bursting blessings. It might be Jeremiah. But can you get the I know we're about to wind down Isaiah 66 and 11 and 12. It might be. I gotta find this.
Isaiah 66 verse 11. It says, I'm gonna start at 10. It says, rejoice
I
ye.
got it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Isaiah 66 and 10. Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory.
Right. So again, that milk out is getting the wealth, the breast, you know, actually getting everything that comes of it. All right. You know, you sucking like when you sucking the breast literally of a child, they getting the nutrients, they getting the flow, they getting everything from it, out of it. But read verse 12, because we've been going into this.
It says, for thus saith Yahawah, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river.
See, that's that pure river being extended, that peace. And there's no, you can't measure, hey, the nobody can measure the seas, like the rivers. The Lord created the waters. That's something for the Lord to know. That's in his knowledge and his treasure. All right, and we understand that. We just know life and abundance come of it. So we need to know that the Lord created it and it was good. So right, we going back to Genesis 1. Everything that's gonna be out, whether it's man, the Israelite man, his image being set with the set thrones, the law establishment, and everything else of the slaves of the other nation, we know that it is good. Yes, that's all I care about, brother. Yes, brother. We don't need to know the extent of this or the extent of that.
That's the spirit of an Edomite.
That's it. Yeah. What is this?
What's that? Yeah, let's go here.
Let's go here.
Yeah. It tells you, was that Jeremiah 33, that if you could search out the depths of the water, the Most High would do away with Israel.
Yeah.
There's newly created creatures in the ocean. You saw the image with the squid. It was like a giant skyscraper and the chariot behind underwater chariot, man. You heathen have no idea what you're dealing with, man.
Don't know.
Come on. Said, I will extend peace to her like a river.
Yeah.
The glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, and ye be born, and ye shall be born upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees.
Yep, read 13.
As one whom his mother comforted, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem.
And there you go. All right, the Lord have turned eyes back to us, and we know one thing about our mothers, they are overly merciful.
Yeah.
We could damn near be in the wrong. Yeah. Mom's gonna cover for you from pops, brother. Yeah. You know, like,
Mom's gonna bail you out.
They're gonna bail you out. They ain't gonna never forsake you.
Yeah.
No matter how much wrong or harm you done to them, a mother just have that unfeigned love. You know, that they don't even know that they have. But that comes from what? They being created with the nourishment of actually, that's why, that's like YAHAWASHI, he's like a nourisher. That's why he said he's the mother of all things as well, because he also nourished us with the fruits. What it says in a second address, that nourish thy children, O nurse of thy feet. All right, I think it's in second address. Nourish thy children, O feet. It goes into that second address 2 and 18 where you was at. I think it's like around lower than 24 after they speak about the healing of the nations. All right, and Yahweh is many references where YAHAWASHI references itself as like in a form of a mother, being that mediator for our Father YAHAWASHI, man. I mean Yahawah, Salakia. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Second Ezra is 2 and 25.
Yep.
Nourish thy children, O thou good nurse. Establish their feet.
Yep. As for thy servants whom I have given thee, that shall none of them perish. I will require them from among thy number. But it says, 24, abide still, my people, and take thy rest, for thy quietness still come. Right? So the quietness coming, the rest, the assurance of rest. Nourish thy children, O good nurse, and establish their feet. Well, who is that nurse? The nourishers. YAHAWASHI, that mediator, man. All right? He speak about that too. I think I got a lesson of that. The mother of all things. All right? The true mother of all things. But that's Ezekiel 34 and 23 to 27, brother. You want me to read that, or you want to stay where you at? Because this is that one that I had wanted. Yeah. This is Ezekiel 34 and 23. Look at it in the NLT, right?
Yeah, that was one of the extra ones I had.
That was one of the ones you had?
I had the 25 to 30, though.
Con. Same thing. All right. 24, it says, Ezekiel 34. My bad. Yeah. Like you said, we can go on and on about this, brother.
Yeah.
Yep. It says, and I, the Lord, well, I'm going to start at 23. Start at 22. Therefore will I save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey, and I will judge between cattle and cattle. And I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. And then David was an actual shepherd, a keeper of the sheep. But now he's comparing that sheep to what? His men start with the whole elect, all right? And then, the 1/3 and on to the rest of Israel, man. All right? Because David going to be a king over the children of Israel, man. His position remains the same. All right? It says, and he shall be their shepherd. And I, Yahawah, will be their power, and my servant David, a prince among them. I, Yahawah, have spoken it. All right? And the fruit of his loins, he would not turn from that. So the Lord gonna make good on that. And I would make with them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods. But right now, you can't actually, literally, you can't go in the wood. Man, we'll get taken away. We got to have weapons out there, right? We got to be on guard all day, all right? That's because that the fear of the animals is not on us anymore. But in the kingdom of heaven, that fear going to come back on us as the fear was on was Noah, right?
Noah,
right? So that same fear, what Noah means, I always say it mean comfort, but I think it mean sick.
Nahum is comfort.
Nahum is comfort. I be getting them mixed up.
Yeah.
All right. I forget what Noah mean. It says Salaki, right? It says, and I will make them and the places round about my hill a blessing, right? The hill, that hill goes into what? A government as well. All right, a smaller government, even the smaller hills, the Lord Israelite, everything gonna be a blessing, man. It says, and I will cause the shower to come down in his season. There shall be showers of blessings, man. That was the point, man.
Yeah. Showers of blessings. All right, being overtaken with blessings.
Well, come on, man.
Bursting blessings. The blessing of the nation of Israel is likened unto rivers that are just gushing forth, man.
Yes, bro.
And that also comes with wisdom, because, when you read Ecclesiastes, King Solomon was lamenting about how you could have all these blessings and then pass it down to a degenerate son. Everything you build will be destroyed in the next generation. In the kingdom, our sons are going to be righteous. So everything we have, every blessing we have, we're going to pass them down to righteous men who are going to have righteous grandsons. We're going to have forever.
Forever, bro.
It's going to be righteousness. Righteousness begat righteousness. Like when you read Matthew, the 1st chapter, David begat Solomon. Solomon begat, it's just going to be righteousness. A righteous man begat a righteous man, so on and so forth, forever. Forever and ever. And the curse is going to be lifted. Let's get back to Revelation 22, verse 3.
Yep. It says, and there shall be no more curse, but the throne of our power and of the Lamb, YAHAWASHI, shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him.
God, no more curse. Now, we were removed from the garden because of a curse, all right? And we're going to be rebuilding that garden because the curse has been lifted. All right, when you read Genesis, the 3rd chapter, I'm going to read this real quick. This Genesis 3:17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. So, Adam, through his disobedience, led to a curse, but Adam redeemed himself as YAHAWASHI. And so all of us that are joint heirs, the same way, Baba Shah, if you can give me 2nd Ezra 3, start at 3. All right, because through Adam's disobedience, all of us ended up, rebelling. But through YAHAWASHI's obedience, all of us are going to be saved. We're going to get into this curse and how it's being lifted.
Con, this 2nd Ezra 3 and verse 3. And my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of fear to the Most High, and said, O Lord, who bears rule, thou spakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And thou leadest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forth. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest dead in him and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, kindreds, out of number.
Verse 8.
And every people walk after their own will, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments.
That's right. So that's how we got cursed. All right. Adam was given dominion. He was given instructions, and he broke them. And now the earth is defiled. This is Isaiah 24:4. It says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languish and fadeth away. The hardy people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. So disobedience led to a curse. So once obedience is fulfilled, which YAHAWASHI, he was the first to fulfill that obedience, the curse is being lifted, man.
Yeah, then a stay away order was given. So when he, not only did he put the curse on Adam, he kicked him out of the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
right? And then he put a cherubim right there. So now when those angels is not given charge to hurt or stop anything, then that means what? Obedience is restored.
I'm going to read that real quick.
Yeah, 24.
This back in Genesis 3. I'm going to read 23 and 24.
24, yep.
Therefore, Yahweh, the Lord power, sent him forth from the
garden. NLT. Read them, both of them in the NLT. Bible Kashah.
You got the NLT.
Yeah, I got it. Go
I'll read it in the
KJV.
Therefore, Yahweh power sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken.
Yeah, and we weren't made to work. Right? It tell you in Isaiah 14 and 2 that thou wasn't made to serve. You know?
Yeah, we were created to be served. To be worshipped.
Is it Jeremiah 14 and 2?
I think that's Jeremiah.
Salagia. I called the wrong number.
Yeah, Isaiah 14 and 2 is we taking them captives.
Captives. Yeah, Salagia.
Another slavery scripture.
Yeah.
But
right. We wasn't made to work. That's why we got that curse. And then the Lord gave the earth to the person he put upon his curse, according to Proverbs 3 and 33. The wicked, the wicked is cursed of the Lord. So he have them in charge. So we went down, we fell very far from grace. All right. And then the Lord blocked his grace off. Because that Garden of Eden, that earth, the Garden of Eden is the earth, man. Because everywhere where our feet or the sole of our feet touch it, we gonna have the pleasure therein. To eat and walk and everything. So when we're back set up, that's what technically the Garden of Eden everywhere.
Yeah.
The earth gonna be in its full abundance, man.
Well, Isaac said we'd have the fatness of the earth.
Yeah.
He gave that to Jacob and Esau. Esau would take it by the sword, and Jacob would take it by the spirit.
By the spirit.
So we're gonna have the fatness of the whole earth. But it says, verse 24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So he banished him. He banished him.
Yeah, until we return back to righteousness, man. Right? And then we'll be able to inherit that. And like you say, he put it says, I'm going to read it in NLT. So the Lord God banished them from the Garden of Eden. This verse 23. And he sent Adam out to cultivate the ground from which he had been made. After sending them out, the Lord's Yahweh power stationed mighty cherubims to the east of the Garden of Eden. Hey, that's also where that water flowed out in Ezekiel. You know? And he placed a flaming sword that flashed back and forth to guard the way of the tree of life, man. Come on, bro.
So we were kept from righteousness. We
were kept from righteousness, bro.
We were kept from paradise, essentially. That's a
for
curse.
A set time. That's a curse.
For a set time. And that time is almost up.
Yeah, it's up.
Because YAHAWASHI, he fulfilled his obedience. YAHAWASHI, we could get our Romans 5 and 12. Because the same way his disobedience led to all of us disobeying, his righteousness is going to lead to the kingdom being established. So that the end of Revelation 22 is going to go right back to Genesis 1. But Genesis, this new Genesis is going to be done perfectly. All right, Adam's not going to listen to Eve. Eve's not going to listen to the serpent. The serpent's going to be in complete bondage. Hardcore bondage.
Yeah, part of the healing that we going to put on these nations, healing is fixing things, right? Fixing something is healing, and healing is restoration.
Making it whole.
It's making it whole again. So once you restore everything, there's nothing to air off. You can't come against, really, you can't war against wisdom. You can't rebel against it, because wisdom is the first. It was with the Yahweh shall speak of it being what he was made out of wisdom. So you can't really actually war against that, being the other nations. All right, you're gonna automatically lose. But once you restore it, wisdom is gonna actually benefit them and make them happy. Yeah. They ain't gonna have a reason to go against it, because they're gonna see the laws and statutes embedded in us according to Deuteronomy 4, and they're gonna say, look at this wonderful and great nation. That's the beauty of it, of everything, man.
What nation is like unto thee?
Like this.
Like, man.
You know, you're gonna see Yahweh pretty much the image of Yahweh on earth, man.
This nigga brushing his teeth. Bro, he need the kingdom, man.
Yeah, look at it. He need healing. Yo, turn it around, yo. Can you get him?
Nah,
it's all good. Yeah, he don't deserve. What he doing? Why?
Why?
Yeah. This Romans 5 and 12, he said, right? It says, wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned.
Right, we all sin because, we all descendants of Adam, and he was cursed. Keep going.
For unto the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law.
Keep going.
Yeah, it won't be, there's no need for a law in the kingdom of heaven, because we ourselves will be the law. We will be righteousness.
Yeah.
You know?
The heathen are going to have to keep our laws.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep it though. You know, but for the children of Israel, there would be no, where you say, where there's righteousness, there's no law.
Yeah, it's just going to be natural.
Yeah. It says, nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even of them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come.
Okay. You can jump to 17.
Yeah, what Edris said, "O Adam, what hast thou done?
Yeah.
For we have failed, so hast thou." 17. For if by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more they receive abundance of grace, and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, the Mashiach YAHAWASHI.
Okay. Read to 19, Baba Show.
Therefore, as by the offense of one judgment came upon all men to condemnation, even so by the righteousness of one, the free gift came upon all men unto justification of life. For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous.
Perfect.
Yep.
So Yahawashi sacrificed, he redeemed himself. Right? Tells you in Hebrews that, you know, that high priest, he sacrificed for himself first and then the nation. All right. Yahawashi redeemed himself and then he redeemed us.
Yeah.
And the kingdom, you know, the Lord said, I will remember their sins no more. The Most High is not even going to remember us going off. We're just going to be perfect like Genesis, the first chapter. You know, it was good.
Yeah.
But we're also going to have the knowledge of good and evil. So those same men that come down, the New Jerusalem that you read about in Genesis 21 and 22, those men are the Halalyam in Genesis 1 and 1. We're going to rebuild everything that we destroyed, everything that these heathen have polluted. We're going to make it fresh all over again. It's going to be paradise. The earth is going to be an inhabitable paradise for the Israelite man forever, forever, ever.
Yes, forever, ever.
We could end it there unless you have something else.
Yeah, I just ended with that, day. I think it's 1. It's 4. Created heaven and earth. Is it 1 and 4?
What's that, Genesis?
Nah, Edris.
Oh, Edris.
Just, you know, to bring it back full circle what the brother was saying. All right. Witness. I'm trying to find it right here. I think it's in 2 or is it the 1? It's a lock. I don't want to get it.
All right, go.
We are they that created heaven and earth. Except
Yeah,
the angels. Should be 1, huh?
Yeah.
I know it's an address. Should be 1. It's crazy. I can't remember what that is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is it 2? It's 1 and 5. We'll have you to build with us. Let me see. You gave us consent to build. Yeah, probably gotta put that in. It goes into that. I got it. This first address 6 and 6 and I'll start at 8. It says I'm start at 9. All right. Building an house unto the Lord great and new, of hen and costly stones, and the timber already laid up on the walls. And those works are done with great speed, and the work goeth on prosperously in their hands with all glory and diligence is it made. Then ask we these elders, saying, by whose commandment build ye this house and lay the foundations of these works? Therefore, to the intent that we might give knowledge unto thee by writing, we demanded of them who were the chief doers, and we required of them the names and writing of the principal men. And the chief doers is scripturally known as the angels, all right? They are the chief doers of the Lord, okay? It says, so they gave us this answer. We are the servants of the Lord, which made heaven and earth. So how people on earth can say we the servants of the Lord, which made heaven and earth, man? Because those, like the brother said, from Genesis in the beginning, the Halalyam were what? That's the powers. The angels who was with YAHAWASHI, getting the orders from Yahweh to create the heavens and earth, man. And that's what you saying reestablished now, all right, through this word. We're making the earth what? Afresh again. According to Ecclesiastes 1 and 4, the earth gonna abide still. Yeah. And with this earth abiding, we about to make it new through this word, cleaning it up, and then the physical cleansing, you know, from the heathen after they what? After the filth, and once everything get restored back to order. But the whole purpose is what? Going back to that new kingdom in Genesis, all right? That a fresh paradise, okay, where glory do abide, man. And Baruch. God. You know? We ain't even get the Baruch. Shit. God. You know, but it's on you, brother, from now.
God. I'm just in with this to back what you just said.
Yep.
This 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's, again, a new heaven and a new earth is talking about a new rulership, and a refreshed earth is going to be refreshed by the rulers, the judges, as at the first, as we got in Isaiah 1 and 26. All right, those Halalyam from Genesis 1 and 1 are that's the same as New Jerusalem.
This is it, though.
God.
Yup, this Baruch 5, and then I damn near read the whole damn chapter.
Yeah, Baruch 5 is beautiful.
Yes, I gotta end it with this. All right, I'm gonna start from the top. The hell with it. We done burnt all the time, and it is what it is. All right, we try to stuff it all. It says, "Put off, O Jerusalem, the garment of mourning." You can break it down, whatever you want to catch. And affliction, and put on the comeliness of the glory that cometh from our power forever. Cast about thee a double garment of righteousness, which cometh from our power, and set a diadem on thine head of the glory of the everlasting.
Right, that diadem is a crown. A crown of righteousness, which the 144,000, when you read Second Esdras, are going to be crowned by YAHAWASHI personally, which that coronation ceremony is going to be beautiful. For our power will show thy brightness unto every country under heaven. For thy name shall be called of Yahweh, forever the peace of righteousness and the glories of our power worship, Yahweh's worship. Arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high, that high mountain flowing down, and look about towards the east, and behold, thy children gather from the west over here unto the east by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of our power. God. For they departed from thee on foot, and were led away of their enemies. But our power bringeth them unto thee, exalted with glory as children of the kingdom. Yeah, we left Jerusalem in shame, and we're going to return in glory. You know, as brothers say, we came here on slave ships, we're leaving in spaceships. We left Jerusalem just completely ashamed, and we're coming back to reestablish order.
For our power had appointed that every high hill and banks of long continuance should be cast down, and valleys filled up, to make even the ground, that Israel may go over safely in the glory of our God. Moreover, even the woods and every sweet-smelling tree shall overshadow Israel by the commandment of our power. For our power shall lead Israel with joy in the light of his glory, with the mercy and righteousness that cometh from him.
God.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, drop the mic on that
mic, man.
All right. So, Lord willing, you know, this lesson was edifying to the Halalyam, the brothers of the elect, whose world this was made, man.
Well, help build heaven and earth.
Yeah.
And we're going to help establish the righteousness of it as well, man.
Yeah. The same men that built it are going to rebuild it.
That's it, bro.
So, you see, which that's just the first 3 verses of Revelation 22. There's more. You know, we didn't have time to get everything, but, you know, Lord willing, this was edifying. So with that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Microchip. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great Millstone, and Shalawam to the whole elect. Shalawam.